So why should the world care about what's happening in Pakistan, especially the people that are coming to this conference?
Well, they should care just on compassionate grounds, because we're talking about 22 million people affected by the floods. It's far more than people affected in the Haiti earthquake or the tsunami. And it's going to affect production, agricultural production, to the tune of 30%. About 1.5 million livestock has been destroyed. 80% of the people who are affected are subsistence farmers. Means that their only source of livelihood were the animals or their small patch of land where they grew their crops. The seeds which they would have used to plant, sow the wheat crop, which in the next week would finish, the seeds have been washed away. So now, if we do not help them, this area could be devastated for years. Because the way to help them, well, first of all, was to provide them relief. That phase is over, although there's still a lot of places where people badly need food. But now it's a question of rehabilitating them, getting them back on their feet. So my organization, which only sprang up because we realized that the government neither had the competency nor the credibility to undertake such a huge task. Even a competent government would have struggled. But given our incompetent and corrupt government, we were in a mess. So if people like us didn't do anything, in fact, doing nothing was not an option when you think of 22 million people affected. So we formed an organization, formed our own NGO, and then we collaborated with a lot of other NGOs. We realized that a lot of individuals were doing efforts where there was no coordination. If it had done was to coordinate the effort, all it needed to do was to provide leadership. There was enough goodwill and generosity amongst the people of Pakistan to have made a huge impact. Instead, the government was totally incapable. It was paralyzed. The state institutions have decayed so much that they just were incapable of doing anything. So all of us then pooled our resources, whatever we did. I launched my own appeal. And we then, first of all, we took responsibility for 200,000 families to provide them seeds, small farmers to provide them seeds so that they could plant their crops and get back on their feet. Secondly, we undertook responsibility of 100 villages. And the idea was to completely rehabilitate the people in these villages. So that meant provide them, if their schools were washed away, we collaborated with an NGO to provide them, help them with a school, which is called Citizen Foundation, one of the most credible educational NGOs. Then we collaborated with Orangi Pilot Project, which is expert in providing sewerage system in village areas. Then we collaborated with an NGO which provides microfinance at zero interest rate. So to give those people microfinance so they could stand up on their feet, start their businesses, buy their animals. And then we provided material for housing. So the people provided the labor, the affected people provided the labor. We gave them the construction material. And then we partnered with an NGO called Fatma Memorial Trust, which then provided basic health care, especially maternity, for areas which all the basic health units were washed out. So the idea was to have, collaborate with NGOs and do a holistic approach, an integrated development approach.
So what are the major challenges in collaborating with NGOs, government, and different private sector organizations?
Well, first of all, you have to have credible NGOs. Now, there's some world-known, renowned NGOs, world organizations, where almost 50 to 60% of the money goes into administrative costs. Our costs are less than 2%. So if anyone gives any money, 98% goes actually to the affected people. And so therefore, there is a problem with NGOs. I mean, I saw this during the earthquake. A lot of NGOs sprung up which made money. In fact, USAID has wanted the Anti-Corruption Bureau to actually investigate some of the NGOs which the USAID had given money to.
Can you share one story of hope that you've seen in the floods, that we are rebuilding and we are coming back?
Well, the greatest reason for hope are the people of Pakistan. The way people have helped, had it not been for the citizens, this would have been a mega disaster. The way people came forward, the ordinary citizens across the board, from all over the provinces, people just donated generously. I am the biggest recipient of, as an NGO, I received the greatest amount of money. In less than about 4 weeks, I got almost $20 million from a poor country. So, the people open up their hearts. And then the local people who were affected, especially in the north, are very resilient. They immediately started, they were getting back, building their houses. They expected nothing from the government. I mean, one good thing of this poor governance is that people have learned to stand on their own feet. So that is the positive side. This was the last thing we wanted, was to get sidetracked by the floods. But as I said, doing nothing was not an option.
Is there an opportunity there to capitalize on for the people?
The only opportunity is that it has exposed the poor governance, and the opportunity lies that change is inevitable in Pakistan now. You will see that the floods are going to wash away the old system, the old political, corrupt, decadent system. And hopefully the optimist in me sees a new Pakistan coming out of the floods.
Okay, thank you so much.